The hotel room in Chicago smells like recycled air and someone else's perfume. A faint floral scent that clings to the curtains like an unwelcome memory. I sit on the edge of the bed. My iPad propped against the desk lamp. My finger hovering over the screen like it's about to trigger a bomb. Part of me knows I shouldn't watch this. It's like picking at a scab. Knowing it'll bleed. The notification from Jessica Reed. A college friend I haven't spoken to in 3 years. Popped up an hour ago. Paige. You need to see this. My heart pounds as the live stream buffers. Those endless circles spinning like a countdown to disaster. Then the video sharpens, pulling me into a scene straight out of a fairy tale gone wrong. It's a wedding reception in Napa Valley, where the vineyards stretch out like emerald waves under the golden hour glow. Those famous rolling hills that produce some of the world's most coveted wines. Like the Cabernet Sauvignons that fetch hundreds per bottle at auctions. String lights are wrapped around ancient oak trees, casting a warm, Instagram-perfect shimmer over everything. Mackenzie Miller Patterson appears center screen in a strapless white dress that hugs her figure like it was custom-made by a high-end designer. Probably Vera Wang or something equally extravagant. She's raising a champagne flute high, grinning at the camera with that practiced intimacy influencers spend years perfecting, eyes wide. Lips curved just so, as if she's confiding in her besties, while broadcasting to thousands. Hey besties, thanks for all the love and support, she says, her voice bubbly yet laced with an undercurrent of triumph. But this wedding is officially a toxic-free zone. Laughter erupts off-screen, a chorus of cheers from the wedding party that sounds too rehearsed. Too performative. She leans closer to the lens, her voice dropping to a stage whisper meant for the masses. We're scrubbing the old gen energy from our lives. No more guilt trips. No more conditional love. The camera pans left, revealing Caleb in a rumpled suit. His tie already loosened like he's allergic to formality. My brother, 27 years old and still incapable of buttoning a shirt properly, raises his own glass with a smirk that twists my gut. Yeah, the ATM is broken. But we got the cash out first, he quips, his words slurring just enough to betray the pre-wedding shots. High fives all around. The wedding party roars approval. Clinking glasses in a display of solidarity that feels like a punch to my chest. My breath catches once, sharp like touching ice, then steadies as a cold resolve settles in. I set the iPad down with deliberate care. My hands steady despite the storm raging inside. My laptop sits on the desk. Power cord wrapped neatly beside it, a habit from years of meticulous organization. Born from the chaos of raising Caleb after our parents' deaths. The password autofills, a small mercy in this mess. 3 clicks bring up a file I created 2 years ago during a sleepless night after Caleb's third failed business venture. The one where he blew $50 on a revolutionary app that never launched. Asset Revocation Protocol. XLSX. Row after row of meticulous entries stares back at me, each one a testament to my enabling. Condo guest residency agreement signed November 2022. The luxury unit in Austin's trendy downtown. With views of Lady Bird Lake that I paid for outright. Ford Raptor registration transferred to company fleet December 2023. That beast of a truck. Valued at over $70 new. Which I justified as a business expense to keep him mobile. Credit card account number. Authorized user status active since 2020. With limits I kept raising to cover his whims. Each asset Caleb uses is cataloged with dates and dollar amounts. 5 years of my sacrifices documented in Times New Roman. Size 11 font. Like a ledger of lost dreams. My cursor drifts to the red highlighted cell at the bottom. Execute? Y-N. I hover there. 30 seconds ticking by like an eternity. My hand trembles, pulling me backward 13 years. I'm 22. Sitting in a hospital corridor that reeks of disinfectant and the particular hopelessness of oncology wards. Places where hope fades under fluorescent lights. And families cling to miracles that rarely come. Caleb is 14, all elbows and knees, his face blotchy from crying. His skinny frame shaking like a leaf in a storm. Through the window of room 347. Our mother's chest rises and falls with mechanical assistance. The ventilator's rhythmic hiss a cruel reminder of her fading life. The doctor had used the word, minutes, when he spoke to me in the hallway. His voice clinical, detached. Mom's eyes find mine through the glass. Still sharp despite the morphine haze. Somehow, despite the breathing tube, she gestures me closer. I push through the door. The sterile air hitting me like a wall. Her hand squeezes mine with surprising strength. Her skin paper thin but warm. She can't speak, the tube prevents it, but she pulls me down close enough that I can hear the whispered words. Barely audible over the machine's drone. Promise me. Always take care of him. He's still just a boy. I nod, tears streaming hot down my face. Choking on the words. I promise. Mom, I promise. That promise became my chain. Wrapping around my life like invisible shackles. Every bad business idea he chased. Every failed relationship he dragged me into mediating. Every rent check I covered when his ventures tanked. Every loan I forgave without question. Every midnight phone call about another crisis. Always taking care of him. Always the big sister playing mom. But now, the live stream is still playing on the iPad. Mackenzie's voice cutting through again. Sharper now, playing to her audience of strangers who think they know her from filtered selfies and sponsored posts. And honestly, it's pathetic how she tries to act like a mother. Mackenzie says, her tone dripping with faux pity. She's just a lonely spinster with a checkbook. The camera catches Caleb nodding enthusiastically. Not even a flicker of discomfort crossing his face. For real, my sister thinks money equals love. It's sad. The comment section scrolls past. Hundreds of heart emojis. Laughing faces. Strangers I've never met celebrating my humiliation like it's primetime entertainment. The word, pathetic, echoes in my head. Not the theft or the lies. But the casual dismissal of 13 years of sacrifice as something pitiful. Something to mock. Something crystallizes inside my chest, cold. Final. Like ice forming in a winter storm. I don't close the Excel file. Instead, I update it, adding a new column. Execution date. New row. Evidence. Wedding live stream. I screenshot Mackenzie's declarations. Caleb's laughter. The timestamp showing 9:47 p.m. November 23rd. Then I open my text messages. Find Arthur Wagner's contact, my family estate attorney. In his 60s and sharper than most men half his age. With a track record of handling high-stakes disputes for Austin's elite. I type with steady fingers. Are you watching this? We need to talk tonight. 3 dots appear immediately. Arthur's reply comes through. Already downloaded the video. I'll have preliminary options ready by 9 a.m. I look at the execute button one more time. Not yet. I need to be strategic. This isn't about revenge, it's about surgery. Cutting out the infection before it spreads further. Like excising a tumor to save the body. I close the laptop. Lie back on the hotel bed. Stare at the ceiling where a water stain has formed in the shape of something vaguely like a cloud. Perhaps a storm brewing. For the first time in 13 years. Guilt doesn't flood in to fill the silence, only clarity. Sharp and unrelenting. The following morning, Arthur Wagner's voice on the phone at 7:30 a.m. is grim. Not his usual measured attorney tone but something darker. Edged with urgency. Paige, the live stream is bad. But there's more. I sit up in bed. Still dressed from last night. The hotel room curtains drawn but light bleeding through the edges like accusatory fingers. My phone feels heavy against my ear. What do you mean? Arthur exhales slowly, the sound crackling through the speaker. I accessed your condo security footage remotely. You gave me admin access last year. Remember? 3 days ago, 11:47 p.m. Caleb entered your unit. My stomach drops. A freefall sensation that leaves me nauseous. The coffee I ordered from room service sits untouched on the nightstand. Steam curling into nothing. I gave him a key for emergencies. This wasn't an emergency. Arthur's voice hardens. He went straight to the display cabinet in your living room. The one with your father's vintage Rolex. The words hang in the air between us. Heavy as lead. I can hear Arthur breathing. Waiting for my reaction. Arthur, tell me he didn't. He broke the lock. Took the watch. I'm sending you the footage now. The video loads on my phone, black and white. Timestamp November 20th. 11:47 p.m. Caleb. Alone in my living room. Moving with purpose that screams premeditation. He pulls a screwdriver from his jacket pocket. The antique display cabinet, the one I inherited from Dad's estate. Crafted from mahogany with intricate carvings, has a small decorative lock. Caleb pries it open in 30 seconds. His movements quick, practiced, like he's done this before. This isn't spontaneous, it's calculated. A betrayal honed by years of entitlement. He pockets the watch, glances around my apartment like he's checking for witnesses. Then leaves. Total time: 4 minutes. I watch it twice, my blood boiling. The second time, I notice his expression, focused, determined, not a shred of guilt or conflict. Arthur's email arrives with attachments. I open the first one. A screenshot from yesterday's live stream. Zoomed in, enhanced, there on Caleb's left wrist. Unmistakable even in the blurry wedding reception lighting. Is our father's 1963 Rolex Submariner, a classic dive watch. Reference 5513. With a matte dial and Mercedes hands. Valued at around $45 on the secondary market according to Christie's auction records. Where similar models have sold for even more due to their historical significance as the watch worn by James Bond in early films. It's not just theft, it's arrogance. Parading it on a live stream with thousands of viewers. Betting on my silence. He thinks I'm not watching, or worse. That I'm so desperate to keep the peace that I won't call him out publicly. The watch I was going to give him on his 30th birthday. When he'd proven he was ready for the responsibility. The only physical object I had left of my father. Who wore it during his Navy days. A symbol of discipline and legacy. Stolen. Like everything else I've given. I stand, pace the hotel room, the industrial-grade carpet muffling my bare feet. Something fundamental shifts in my thinking. This isn't sibling rivalry or entitlement. It's premeditated theft. A violation that shatters the last illusions I held. The old Jen insult wasn't a drunken slip, it was strategic cover. Painting me as the villain so no one questions the Rolex. Make me controlling, pathetic, conditional, then claim I gifted it. That I'm just bitter about his happiness. I think like a CFO now. What's the ROI on continued support? What are the opportunity costs of emotional investment in someone who views me as an ATM? The answer is clear. I've been funding my own exploitation. Sarah Jenkins answers on the first ring. Paige, everything okay? My executive assistant's voice is warm with concern. Sarah has worked for me for 6 years. Knows my tones intimately. This is something new, steel wrapped in velvet. No, but it will be. I need you to pull together documentation. Everything. For the next 20 minutes. We outline Operation Cut the Cord. 3 pillars. Housing. Caleb's guest residency at the condo was never formalized. It's a revocable license. No lease. No tenant rights under Texas law. Arthur confirms it. Transport. The Ford Raptor is registered to my company as a business vehicle. Fleet asset number 47. When I bought it, I told him the company title was for insurance benefits. He signed the transfer paperwork without reading. Too eager for the keys. Finances. The credit card is an authorized user account. My name primary. His privileges exist only because I allow them. Sarah's typing is audible. Rapid clicks like ammunition loading. I'm creating a folder now. When do you want to execute? I look at the security footage. Frozen on Caleb's hand reaching into the cabinet. Start with the condo termination notice. I want it delivered today. Later that day, by 4 p.m. Austin time. The email is sent. I draft it myself at my office desk. The sleek glass surface reflecting the harsh fluorescent lights overhead. Keeping the tone professional, cold, legal. Like the contracts I negotiate daily with suppliers who think they can undercut Patterson Logistics. Dear Condo Management, I am formally terminating the guest residency agreement for Unit 847. Effective immediately. Caleb Patterson is no longer authorized to access the premises. Please update key fob access and notify security. I will arrange property retrieval within 48 hours. Best regards, Paige Patterson. I hover over send for 15 seconds. My finger trembling slightly as memories flood in unbidden. This is my brother. The boy I raised after mom's death. The teenager I drove to school every morning in our beat-up Honda Civic while juggling a full-time job at a logistics firm and night classes for my MBA at the University of Texas, where I graduated summa cum laude despite the exhaustion. The young man I bailed out of 3 failed startups, the first a food delivery app that collapsed under competition from Uber Eats. The second a crypto trading bot that lost $30 in a market crash. The third a vague, wellness brand that never got past Instagram mock-ups, always telling myself the next one would be different. That he just needed one more chance to prove himself. My finger presses down. The email whooshes into the void. A digital guillotine falling silently. I open my bottom desk drawer at the office. Pull out the framed photo from Caleb's high school graduation, taken at Austin High, where he barely scraped by with C's but flashed that infectious grin under his cap and gown. He's grinning in the photo. Arm around my shoulders, eyes bright with possibility. 17 years old and convinced the world owed him something grand. I trace his face with one finger, feeling the cool glass, then set the frame face down in the drawer, burying it under stacks of old reports. When the tears come, I let them fall silently. Hot tracks down my cheeks. The office is empty. Everyone went home hours ago to families who don't drain them dry. I cry for the brother I thought I had, the one who would have called me before the wedding, asked my blessing, included me in his happiness like the time we celebrated his first job at a coffee shop, splitting a pizza and laughing about future dreams. I cry for the promise I made to mom, the chain I've worn for 13 years like a noose tightening with each bailout. I cry because winning hurts. But I don't stop. This pain is the price of freedom. Mackenzie notices immediately. On day 3 of the honeymoon, she's scrolling through Instagram while Caleb snores beside her in the Napa Valley Resort, a 5-star haven with infinity pools overlooking the vineyards where celebrities like Oprah have hosted retreats. His breath is stale with last night's champagne, probably a vintage Dom Perignon, charged to the card I haven't cancelled yet. 0 likes from Paige, 0 congratulatory texts, no comments whatsoever. Her influencer instincts prickle. Engagement metrics matter. Sure, but family silence means something else entirely. A red flag in her carefully curated world of sponsored posts and affiliate links. She nudges Caleb awake with her elbow, sharp enough to jolt him. Babe, your sister's ghosting us. Caleb groans, fumbles for his phone on the nightstand, squints at the screen through one eye. His hair tousled like a bad rom-com hero. Weird. Maybe she's just busy. Mackenzie's eyes narrow, her perfectly manicured brows furrowing. She sits up, pulling the sheet around her shoulders, the silk whispering against her skin. Or maybe she's planning something. We pushed hard with that live stream. What if she cuts us off? Caleb sits up now, suddenly alert, the unspoken fear hanging between them like a storm cloud. The money could actually stop. The lifestyle of luxury trips and designer clothes evaporating like morning mist over the vines. Mackenzie's mind races with influencer logic. Offense is the best defense. A tactic she's honed from years of dealing with online trolls and brand deals gone sour. We need to control the narrative before she does. By 9 o'clock that night, Mackenzie's new TikTok is live. She's perfected the concerned victim aesthetic, minimal makeup to show authenticity. Messy bun tied with a scrunchie from her latest sponsorship. Sitting on the hotel bed in a tank top that hugs her curves. The lighting casts soft shadows that make her look vulnerable, like a damsel in a modern fairy tale. Hey everyone, I need to share something really hard, she says, taking a deep breath that makes her chest rise dramatically. Her eyes glisten, though no tears actually fall, a trick from acting classes she took in LA before pivoting to content creation. My sister-in-law is trying to ruin my wedding. Not just emotionally, financially. She details a fabricated story. Paige allegedly promised to pay for the wedding, then withdrew support at the last minute, forcing them to max out credit cards because she wanted to punish Caleb for marrying her. She's always been controlling, but this is a new low. The kicker, she tags Paige's company, shows the logo on screen, mentions the name clearly, Patterson Logistics. Austin, Texas. I just think people should know what kind of person runs your supply chains. The comments explode within minutes, hearts. Crying faces. Outrage on her behalf from her 150,000 followers. Many of whom are young women aspiring to her empowered lifestyle. Within 2 hours, 47,000 views. Virality kicking in like a wildfire in dry California brush. My phone rings at 6:47 the next morning. CEO Marcus Thornton, usually calm, measured in his speech, with a southern drawl from his Georgia roots, but today his voice comes through tight. Clipped. Page. The board is asking questions. My stomach clenches. I'm still in my kitchen. Coffee untouched. Staring at the mug like it might offer answers. The aroma of fresh ground beans from a local roastery doing nothing to soothe me. I'm aware of the TikTok. Marcus. It's fabricated. The truth doesn't matter right now. The optics do. We're 2 weeks away from the merger announcement, with that Dallas firm that could double our market share in Southwest logistics. Our Google reviews are being carpet-bombed, 23 one-star ratings in the last hour. All mentioning you by name. I close my eyes. The kitchen feels too bright suddenly. The morning sun cutting through the windows like an accusation. Highlighting the minimalist decor I chose to keep my life orderly. What do you need from me? Marcus's tone hardens. The executive edge sharpening. I can't have your family drama trending while we're trying to close $1 billion deal. Fix this quietly today, or we'll have to discuss if you're the right face for this merger. The line goes dead, leaving me in silence broken only by the drip of the faucet. I sit there, coffee going cold, realizing this isn't just drama anymore, it's an existential threat to my career. Everything I've built for 13 years. From entry-level analyst to CFO. Climbing the ladder in a male-dominated field where women like me are still rarities. According to Forbes articles on gender disparity in logistics. I almost break. I open my contacts. Scroll to Caleb's name. My thumb hovers over call. I could fix this with one conversation. Apologize for things I didn't do. Promise to keep funding their lifestyle. Restore peace like I've done 100 times before. Make it all go away. My fatal flaw whispers. You promised Mom. You're supposed to take care of him. The phone nearly touches my ear. Then Sarah's voice cuts through from the doorway. Don't. I look up, startled. Sarah walks over, letting herself in with the spare key I gave her years ago for emergencies. She's still in her gym clothes, leggings and a tank from her morning run at Lady Bird Lake Trail, face flushed. Ponytail swinging. She takes the phone gently from my hand. Her touch grounding. They're bullying you because they think you're weak. Because you've always backed down. You need to show them you're the shark, not the bait. I stare at my assistant, Sarah, who's worked for me for 6 years. Seen the late nights. The spreadsheets that saved the company from bankruptcy in 2020 during the pandemic supply chain chaos. Sarah, who's never seen me cry until this week. Who witnessed every sacrifice, from skipped vacations to personal loans for Caleb's whims. What if I'm not a shark? The words come out as a whisper. Vulnerable. Sarah sits down across from me at the kitchen table. Her eyes steady. You built a CFO career by 35 in a male-dominated field. You manage $400 million in annual logistics contracts. You rebuilt this company's entire financial infrastructure in 2 years. Integrating AI for route optimization that cut costs by 15%. You are a shark. You've just been pretending to be a goldfish for your family. The words land like a slap, physical, sharp, waking something dormant inside me. I wipe tears with the back of my hand. Sit up straighter, my spine realigning vertebra by vertebra. I need to let them overextend themselves. Sarah nods, a small smile breaking through. Exactly. Let them think they're winning. I call Arthur Wagner 10 minutes later. Don't shut down the credit card yet. Arthur pauses on the other end. His voice cautious. Paige, every day that card is active costs you. I know, but I have an idea. They think attacking me publicly gives them leverage. Let's give them rope. I outline the plan. Keep the card active. But start documenting every charge. Create a paper trail that shows Caleb's spending patterns, lavish, irresponsible, far beyond necessities. Most importantly, get written confirmation that he acknowledges the debt, turning forgiveness into taxable income under IRS rules. Arthur is silent for a long moment, then chuckles darkly. You're setting a trap. I'm creating evidence. There's a difference. That night, I can't sleep. The hotel sheets. Wait. No. Back in Austin now. Tangling around me like doubts. At 2:34 a.m. My phone buzzes on the nightstand. Credit card alert. $2.847.63 charged at Napa Valley Resort and Spa, presidential suite upgrade. Complete with private butler service and in-room jacuzzi overlooking the stars. I should be angry, furious at the extravagance. Instead, I smile in the darkness. A predator's grin. I screenshot the notification with steady fingers. File it in a folder labeled, Evidence, Financial. Let them feast. Every charge is another link in the chain, binding them tighter. I draft the email at 6 a.m. on day 5 of their honeymoon. My coffee sitting untouched beside my laptop, going cold while I polish every word until it gleams with false defeat. Like a white flag waved in surrender. Caleb and Mackenzie, I saw the TikTok videos. I understand you're angry with me. But please, this is affecting my job. My CEO called yesterday. Our company reviews are being destroyed. I can't afford to lose my career over a family misunderstanding. I've unlocked the credit card limit. Enjoy the rest of your honeymoon without restrictions. When you get back to Austin, let's sit down and talk like adults. I'm sorry for whatever I did to make you feel unsupported. Love, Paige. I read it 3 times. Make it sound even more desperate. Add a line break that suggests I'm writing through tears. My vulnerability allure. This is the moment Arthur warned me about last night. Once you bait the trap, there's no taking it back. He'd said, his voice grave with the weight of legal consequences. They'll spend everything they can. Good. I hit send. The email whooshes into the void. The bait is in the water. 3.000 miles away in Napa Valley. Caleb's phone chimes during breakfast. I can picture it perfectly. He'll be hungover. Probably wearing yesterday's shirt wrinkled from the night before. Reaching for his phone with one hand while shoveling overpriced avocado toast into his mouth with the other. I'm right. Mackenzie posts a screenshot to her Instagram story 40 minutes later. I see it because I've created a burner account just to monitor their feeds. Lurking like a shadow. The image shows Caleb's phone screen with my email displayed. And Mackenzie's caption reads, "When you stand your ground and they finally respect your boundaries. Toxic family no more." The comments flood in immediately. So proud of you. You deserve this, queen. From followers who lap up her narrative without question. I screenshot everything. File it in the folder labeled, Evidence, Social Media. The folder is getting thick. A digital arsenal. By noon, the first charge hits. Minus $5.247 at Napa Valley Wine Collective. Descriptor notes, private tasting party for 8 people. Neither Caleb nor Mackenzie has 8 real friends combined. Which means they're buying affection from strangers now. Performing generosity with my money to people who will forget their names by tomorrow. Like fleeting likes on a post. I forward the transaction to Martin Reynolds. My accountant, a meticulous man in his 50s with a penchant for bow ties and tax loopholes. Subject line. Evidence for Form 1099-C. Martin calls within 10 minutes. Paige, are you absolutely certain about this strategy? The tax implications for Caleb will be severe, under IRS guidelines. Canceled debt over $600 is reportable as income. And with this amount, he'll face a hefty bill. That's the point, Martin. I keep my voice level. Professional, though inside I'm coiling like a spring. Prepare the documentation. I want everything legally airtight. You're talking about a massive cancellation of debt. The IRS will treat that as income. He'll owe taxes on money he doesn't have, potentially 24% federal bracket. Plus state. I know exactly what I'm doing, Martin. But I hear his keyboard clicking. He's already working. You're more ruthless than most of my corporate clients. I learned from the best. The charges come in waves after that. Day 6. Minus $12.500 for presidential suite upgrade for the remaining nights. including daily champagne deliveries. Minus $3.400 at Gucci. The descriptor makes me laugh bitterly. Wedding recovery wardrobe. As if marriage to Caleb requires therapeutic shopping. Minus $8.900 for a couple's spa package. Hot stone massages. Gold facials. Services I've never indulged in myself because I was too busy funding Caleb's life. Skipping my own spa days to balance the books. Day 7. Minus $6.200 at the French Laundry. The Michelin 3-star restaurant where reservations book out months in advance. Known for its 9-course tasting menu that costs as much as a mortgage payment. Mackenzie films the entire meal for her followers. And I watch every video on my burner account. Her holding up a glass of wine, a rare burgundy that fetches $1 a bottle at Sotheby's auctions. Living our best lives now that the toxic energy is cleared. She captions. Caleb appears in the frame. Toasting with his own glass. The wine sloshing dangerously close to the rim. To boundaries. He slurs slightly. His eyes glassy. And to sisters who finally learn their place. Learn their place. My hand clenches around my phone hard enough that the case cracks. A small snap echoing in my quiet office. Sarah walks past, sees the notifications lighting up my screen, and winces. That's over $36 in 3 days. Page. I don't look up. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I switch tabs to the master spreadsheet. Cumulative support 2018 to 2023. I input the honeymoon totals into the final row. Then run the sum formula. Combining 5 years of covered rent, business bailouts, paid off credit cards, and legal fees with this week's binge. The number climbs. $538.429.18. Are you okay? Sarah asks quietly, concern etching her features. I'm fine. The lie comes easily now. Polished like my professional facade. Another charge appears while she's standing there. Minus $2.100 for Napa Valley hot air balloon tours. Soaring over the vineyards at dawn. I add it to the spreadsheet. The cursor blinks in the cell next to the growing total. Sarah lingers in my doorway. You know you can still stop this. Right? Cancel the card. Cut them off now. No. I save the file with deliberate precision. They need to think they're winning. Let them gorge themselves. She leaves without another word. The door clicking shut softly. On the afternoon of day 7, I send one final email. I craft it during my lunch break. Eating a protein bar at my desk while legal language flows from my fingertips. Honed from years of contract reviews. Caleb, just to be clear, for my accounting records, you acknowledge that all charges on the card during your honeymoon, 11/20ths to 11/27ths, are your personal expenses and your responsibility to handle going forward. Please confirm receipt of this email. Best. Page. Professional. Bureaucratic. The kind of email he's seen me send 1,000 times to vendors and contractors. Lulling him into complacency. His response comes back in 4 minutes. Yeah, whatever. Old general. Just pay the bill like you always do. I read it once, twice, 3 times. Screenshot. Forward to Arthur Wagner with 1 word. Gotcha. Arthur's reply is immediate. That's written acknowledgement of debt responsibility. Combined with your forgiveness documentation. This is legally bulletproof. Well played. I should feel triumphant. A rush of victory. Instead, I feel empty. Hollowed out like a carved pumpkin. I close my laptop. Pour myself a single glass of bourbon from the bottle I keep in my bottom desk drawer for emergencies. The good stuff. A 12-year Pappy Van Winkle that costs $800 a bottle. A rare indulgence. The liquid burns going down. Warm and clarifying. Spreading through my veins like resolve. The office is empty now. Everyone else went home hours ago to dinners and TV shows. Just me and the cleaning crew and the hum of the HVAC system. A constant white noise. I whisper into the silence. The trap is armed. My phone buzzes one more time. Another Instagram story from Mackenzie. She's holding up a designer shopping bag. Grinning at the camera with teeth whitened by her sponsor. When you marry up and your new family finally recognizes your worth. I don't screenshot this one. I've seen enough. The pattern clear. Tomorrow they fly home. Tomorrow the trap springs shut. Tomorrow, Caleb discovers what happens when you mistake patience for weakness. But tonight, I sit alone in my office and finish my bourbon. The city lights of Austin glow through my window, twinkling like distant stars. Somewhere out there, my brother is celebrating his victory. He has no idea he's already lost. Day 8, 4:47 p.m. Austin Bergstrom International Airport. I'm not on the flight. I didn't drive to the terminal to play the welcoming sister. Instead, I'm sitting in my rental, a sensible, anonymous Honda Accord, the kind that blends into traffic like a ghost, parked in the short-term garage. Level 3. Section B. I watch the elevator bank through my polarized sunglasses. My heart a steady drumbeat rather than the frantic rhythm it once was. The doors slide open with a soft ding. Caleb strides out first, dragging 2 designer suitcases I recognize from their shopping spree, $1,200 at the Napa Valley Outlet Mall. Charged to the card I'm about to obliterate. Labels like Louis Vuitton screaming luxury they didn't earn. Mackenzie trails behind him, wearing oversized sunglasses despite being indoors. Her posture slumped as if nursing what has to be her 3rd hangover in as many days. Probably from those endless wine tastings. The kind where sommeliers pour vintages from estates like Screaming Eagle, where a single bottle can cost $5. She's tapping furiously on her phone, likely checking engagement metrics on her latest post. I imagine her saying, "I think we got at least 4 sponsored posts out of this trip." Her voice laced with that artificial enthusiasm that masks her insecurities. They head straight for the spot where Caleb always parks the Ford Raptor, always parked. Past tense now. The massive truck with its off-road tires and custom lift kit that I justified as a motivational tool for his non-existent business hustle. Caleb stops walking so abruptly that Mackenzie nearly collides with his rolling suitcase. Her yelp echoing faintly in the garage. What the hell? He circles the empty space like the truck might materialize if he just looks hard enough. His face twisting from confusion to frustration. He checks his phone. No tow notifications. No missed calls. The confusion on his face would be funny. A comedic beat in this tragedy. If my chest didn't feel so tight. Like a vice squeezing out the last remnants of sisterly affection. A security officer approaches, tablet in hand, his uniform crisp and authoritative. "Can I help you folks?" Caleb stammers, actually stammers. His usual cocky demeanor cracking like cheap glass. My truck, Ford Raptor, black, was parked right here. The officer taps his screen. His expression shifting to professional neutrality. The kind airport staff perfect for dealing with irate travelers. License plate? Caleb provides it. I've memorized that number from the fleet logs. The officer's eyes scan the results. "Sir, that vehicle was repossessed 3 days ago by Patterson Logistics. Said it was company property being returned to fleet." Mackenzie's face drains of color so fast I can see it from 50 feet away. Her tan from the California sun turning ashen. "Repossessed?" But Paige said. The officer shrugs. Uninterested in the drama. "I just scan tags. Ma'am, you'll need to contact the company. They take an Uber, $67 to downtown." I know because I'm watching the charge appear on Caleb's personal debit card through the financial monitoring Arthur set up. A legal surveillance that's as airtight as a vault. His account balance, $347.82. 3 days ago, it was $1,200. Napa Valley burned through cash faster than he could track. Like a wildfire consuming dry tinder. I give them a 10-minute head start. Then drive to my downtown office. The Austin skyline blurring past as I weave through traffic on I-35. The highway notorious for its congestion but today feeling like a clear path to closure. I pull up the condo security feed on my monitor. The high-definition camera angle capturing the entrance perfectly. The modern lobby with its marble floors and abstract art installations that cost more than most people's monthly rent. Caleb punches his code into the entry system. The panel flashes red. Access denied. He tries again, his fingers jabbing harder. Same result. "Caleb, what's happening?" Mackenzie's voice climbs into a register that sets my teeth on edge. Even through the monitor speakers. Shrill and accusing. Mr. Rodriguez emerges from the lobby. Envelope in his weathered hands. The building manager. A kind man in his 50s who's seen enough tenant dramas to stay unflappable. I spoke with him this morning. Guest residency terminated. No drama necessary. Just procedure. Mr. Patterson, I was instructed to give you this. Caleb rips the envelope open. His movements jerky. I watch his eyes scan the letterhead. Wilson and Associates Property Management. Dear Mr. Patterson, your guest residency agreement for Unit 847 has been terminated. Effective November 24th. You are no longer authorized to access the building. Personal belongings have been placed in storage unit number 412 at Secure Store Austin. Retrieval instructions enclosed. His hands shake. A visible tremor even on the grainy feed. His face crumpling like paper. He pulls out his phone. Calls me. I watch it ring on my desk. My name flashing on his screen. Let it go to voicemail. He tries again. Voicemail. Third attempt. His voice cracks through the audio. Page. What the F asterisk? Call me back now. Mackenzie is scrolling frantically through her phone. Her nails, freshly manicured from that spa day, tapping rapidly. Babe, look at this. She shows him something. I already know what it is because Martin sent me the confirmation 20 minutes ago. Time to arrive precisely when they'd be back in cell range after the flight. Subject. Important tax document. Form 1099-C. Caleb opens it. His face goes slack. Blank as an erased whiteboard. He doesn't understand tax law, never had to. Always relying on me to handle the boring stuff. Mackenzie does. Her eyes widening in horror. Oh my God, she whispers. Her voice trembling with genuine panic for the first time. Caleb, this isn't a bill. It's worse. What is it? She shoves the phone in his face. Her hand shaking. It's a cancellation of debt form. She's not just cutting you off. She's reporting all that money she forgave as income to the IRS. You owe taxes on $500. Caleb, we're talking like $150 in taxes we have to pay now. I watch him process this. It happens in stages, confusion furrowing his brow. Disbelief widening his eyes, dawning horror slumping his shoulders. The unlocked credit card, not a peace offering, but a lure. The accounting records email, not bureaucracy, but a confession trap. My silence, not sulking, but strategy. All those years of support documented. Their honeymoon binge confirmed in writing when he replied. Yeah, whatever. Old General. Gifts reclassified as forgiven debt. $538.429.18. Legally airtight. Financially devastating. Per IRS publication 4681 on cancelled debt income. Mackenzie's shriek cuts through the audio feed. Raw and piercing. You said she always caves. You said she's weak. She is. Caleb's voice breaks. High and desperate. This is insane. She wouldn't actually, she did. Caleb, we're homeless. You owe the IRS a fortune. Your truck is gone. Other residents are staring now. Elderly couples pausing in the lobby with concerned glances. Mr. Rodriguez gently suggests they leave. His tone firm but polite. Mackenzie rounds on Caleb with pure fury. Her face contorted. I married you because you said your sister was rich and generous. You said we'd never have to worry about money. You lied to me. She storms toward the street. Heels clicking violence against the marble floor. Echoing like gunshots. Caleb chases after her. Luggage forgotten. Mackenzie, wait. We can fix this. There is no we anymore. I'm calling my mom. I'm going home. You figure out your own mess. She's already pulling out her phone. Thumb jabbing at the screen as tears streak her mascara. An Uber arrives in under 3 minutes. Black SUV. Probably an Escalade for the drama. She gets in without looking back. The door slamming shut. Caleb stands alone on the sidewalk. Designer luggage scattered around him like debris from a shipwreck. His shoulders heaving. He watches her disappear into traffic. The taillights fading like his illusions. I watch him, waiting for something to surface. Satisfaction at his downfall. Guilt for pushing him there. Triumph in my strategy. Pain for the boy he once was. Nothing comes. Just the quiet relief of surgery successfully completed. The tumor is removed. The patient will survive. Scarred but alive. I close the security feed. Return to my quarterly budget review. The numbers demand attention. Projections for the merger. Cost analyses for new routes to Mexico. Efficiencies from drone deliveries and testing. Unlike family, they make sense. Predictable. Rewarding hard work. 3 days after Caleb and Mackenzie return to Austin, Sarah buzzes my office intercom. Her voice carries that particular tension she gets when something's wrong but she's trying to stay professional. Like the time we caught a vendor embezzling. Page. Austin PD on line 2. I set down my pen. The quarterly budget review spreadsheet blurs on my monitor. Cells of green and red mocking my focus. Transfer it through. Officer Martinez introduces himself with the practiced calm of someone who makes these calls regularly. His accent hinting at local roots. Caleb was arrested at your condo building. Criminal trespass. Resisting arrest. He tried forcing his way past Mr. Rodriguez in the lobby, shouting that it was his home. Scaring elderly residents. Became combative when security intervened. Martinez explains. His tone matter of fact. Bail is set at $5. I close my eyes. Picture Caleb in a holding cell, probably still wearing those wrinkled designer clothes from the honeymoon. Confused about how he ended up there. The fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like judgment. Does he have anyone else to call? Ma'am? The question hangs in the air between us. Heavy with implication. I know the answer. Mackenzie blocked his number the day they got back. Her social media scrubbed of wedding photos like it never happened. Our parents are 13 years gone. Mom from cancer. Dad from a heart attack 2 years prior. Leaving us orphans in a world that doesn't care. I'm it. I've always been it. I'll handle it, I say, and disconnect. My voice steady as steel. The automated jail call comes at 2:14 p.m. My phone vibrates on the desk. Travis County Correctional Facility. Flashes on the screen. I stare at it through 6 rings. Almost let it go to voicemail. The temptation to sever completely pulling at me. On the 7th ring, I answer. Page. Caleb's voice cracks, small. Broken. Nothing like the confident man toasting with expensive wine 3 days ago. More like the scared teen after mom's funeral. Please. I know I don't deserve help. But I'm scared. I just need bail. I'll pay you back. I swear. Please don't leave me in here. My office is silent except for the distant hum of the air conditioning. Cool air whispering through vents. Through my window, Austin stretches out in afternoon sunlight. The Colorado River glinting like a promise of renewal. Somewhere down there, my brother sits in a cell, waiting for me to save him one more time. I close my eyes. See 13-year-old Caleb crying at mom's funeral. His hand gripping mine so hard it left marks. His sobs muffled against my shoulder as we buried her in the family plot. But then I see the wedding live stream. The stolen Rolex on his wrist, recovered now. But the betrayal lingers, the casual cruelty in his voice when he called me pathetic. The laughter at my expense. I'll post bail. Caleb. The words surprise even me with their steadiness. But not because I owe you anything. Because I want peace. And this gives me leverage to ensure you never contact me again. He starts to protest. Words tumbling out in a plea. I hang up before he can finish the sentence. The click final. The electronic payment takes 90 seconds, $5 transferred to Travis County. A drop in the bucket compared to what I've lost. But a calculated investment in closure. I don't drive to the jail, instead. I text Arthur Wagner with instructions. Meet Caleb at release. Bring the no-contact agreement we drafted last week. Arthur's response at 6:32 p.m. is brief. He signed. Cried the whole time. Asked if you were coming. I told him no. I read the message twice. Let it sink in like ink on paper. Then I open my contacts. Scroll to Caleb's name. And block the number. Done. The chain snaps. 13 years dissolving into ether. 6 months later. Singapore's morning light reflects off Marina Bay outside my corner office window. The iconic skyline with its super trees and the Helix Bridge a far cry from Austin's laid-back vibe. The humidity here is different from Texas, heavier. More insistent. wrapping around you like a warm embrace that demands adaptation. I've grown to like it. Just as I've adapted to this new chapter, the merger went through. But I took the opportunity to relocate. Heading the Asia-Pacific division for Patterson Logistics. Overseeing shipments through the bustling port of Singapore. One of the world's busiest. Handling over 37 million TEUs annually. The Patterson Young Entrepreneurs Scholarship applications spread across my desk, 50 applicants. Narrowed to 3 finalists. The fund holds $50, not money recovered from Caleb, that debt is gone. Turned into a tax burden he'll wrestle with for years. Per IRS audits that don't forgive ignorance. This is money generated from the sale of the repossessed Ford Raptor, fetched $65 at auction, and the savings have accumulated simply by closing the bank of Page for 6 months. Redirecting funds to investments like index funds that yielded 12% returns in a bull market. One application catches my attention. Maya Torres, 19. First-generation college student at Nanyang Technological University. Her business plan outlining affordable childcare cooperatives in underserved communities. Inspired by Singapore's push for family-friendly policies amid declining birth rates. Her essay mentions raising younger siblings after their mother died in a car accident. The parallel making me pause. An echo of my own past. But Maya's approach is different. She's building something sustainable. Empowering her siblings with skills rather than handouts. Not sacrificing herself on an altar of guilt and obligation like I did for so long. I approve the scholarship. Add a personal note in the margin. Your siblings are lucky to have someone who empowers them rather than controls them. Congratulations. That evening, I sit on my apartment balcony. High above the city in a sleek condo overlooking the bay. Singapore's skyline glitters against the darkening sky. The lights of the Marina Bay Sands Casino pulsing like a heartbeat. My phone buzzes with an email notification from Caleb's old address. Subject, please read. Need help. Preview. Page. I know I signed the paper. But I'm really struggling. I just need a small loan to get started. I don't open it. A second later. Another notification. Delivery failure. Recipient not found. I deleted that email alias yesterday. The message bounced into the void. Unread. Unanswered. I check my wrist. My father's vintage Rolex. Recovered from the police evidence locker after Caleb's arrest. Gleams under the city lights. It's ticking, a reminder of time moving forward. The weight of it feels different now, not like a burden. But like an inheritance earned. A symbol of resilience passed down. I sip my wine, a crisp Sauvignon Blanc from a New Zealand vineyard. Notes of citrus cutting through the humidity. Watch the lights pulse and shimmer across the water. Ferries gliding like silent guardians. For the first time in 13 years. The silence isn't lonely, it's liberating. Filled with possibilities I've denied myself too long. The surgery is complete, the scars heal. And life blooms anew.